All right. I had a horrible time getting on tonight. Let me see. Just gonna wash things out. Let me rearrange this a little bit. No, can't quite get happy with that. That's not too bad. Okay. Try a new thing here. I've never done it before. Call it chat where they can talk to me if they want to. So let's see if that'll do anything. I guess it had to have people who want to talk to me. So we'll put that up in case somebody wants to ask some questions. You may do anything. I haven't had much in the way of an audience. I had a few people. Like actually, the first thing I put up, which was just they call it a short. I think it's called. You got like 150,000 people looked at it. I'm like, whoa, you know. But not what these regular live ones. Kind of they're poking along, but you know, hopefully it'll pick up. People start talking to me and wanting to see what's going on. It's New Year's Eve here, small town, you know. People be lighting up big old light fireworks and stuff, which are, if the cops caught the police officers, cops, I call them cops, caught them, they get in trouble because you're not supposed to light up fireworks this time of year, just the 4th of July, but people do. Um, yeah, it'll be around midnight. Usually booms and bangs for about an hour and then it dies down again. But we can expect it. I don't know if they do the old drop the ball in New York Square anymore. I hope they do. I know that one guy, Dick Clark, was always in charge of it. And I think he's passed on. Nice man. One of the weird people who never seemed to age, although really interesting. Like just froze. But towards the end, he started to show his age more, and he started to be kind of like pausing a lot, trying to think of what to say. But I mean, I'm a crying candidate myself because one moment thought somebody was coming up on me. I'm having trouble with my electrical systems a little bit. Got one core. I channel a lot of power out of here, but I used to have all of it going through one breaker, but it wasn't liking it. So I shifted it around. There's lots of different cords going to different things in an attempt to make it not overload as much on one particular one. This one that comes into the tent is still being a pain. And the only thing into it right now is lights. Basically 4 lights and a heating blanket, and I think that's it. Yeah, the other things in here, I got a cord coming in here for my Dremel to cut things and stuff, and that's running off a different cord. So, but still, the lights flicker, and the cord's not happy. Let's put it that way. It keeps sparking and stuff. So I'm gonna next time I go to the store, I'll have to pick up a new heavy duty cord. I thought the one I put in was heavy, but I guess maybe it wasn't as heavy as I thought. The traditional orange ones are super heavy. I'll get one of those and hope that that'll solve the problem. It's weird sometimes, but been an interesting day. I have a neighbor across the way who's leaving, and he was got me back into woodworking again because he had a whole bunch of pallets they got from where he works, and he go through them, and then he put a whole bunch of by the road that he didn't want. And I've never been somebody to say no wood or lumber, and so I'd asked him if I could have all the pallets he doesn't want, and boy, there was a time there I must have broke down probably close to 50 to 60 pallets in the rain and the cold, but it got me up off my butt. I was no longer sitting in front of the computer screen and just doing light projects, to keep myself entertained. I've gone through lots of projects, but it has widened my what I can do. I mean, I've done diamond painting, I've done pencil drawings, I've done else? Epoxy resin, clay, all sorts of different things. One moment. I guess I'm actually doing some memory. All right. I'm talking online right at the moment. Don't watch where that box is at right there. You're gonna do what you're doing. That's why I put the box there, was to protect it from being bumped. I gotta get it. Huh?
Frying.
Yes, I know. That's why I put the box there. So people quit bumping it. Wait a minute, I gotta go fix something. I'll be right back. I was talking on live. He bumped it. Now I'm gonna have to get up and fix it. I love you. Be pain away right at the moment, but I still love you. I don't know where it was working. This thing keeps smoking. See? No, it's not good. I gotta get a better cord for it, I think. Yeah, perfectly. It's working great. Oh. Really carved it this time. There, all lit up. That's why I put the box there, was to cover it up, darn. Huh, Match, darn? Huh? It's frustrating. You don't understand that, can't you? Okay, hopefully that fixed it. We need to go get a cord, new electrical cord for that thing. Okay. Pre New Year's Eve spectacular, huh? Darn cord. Gotta get a new one. Keeps shorting out. I got up and running, I think, hopefully. That was my girlfriend. She's a very nice lady. She brought me well, I think it's supposed to be a grilled cheese sandwich, which is fine, you know. I mean, I know no problems. It's nice to have her bring me food and stuff, you know. And she tries real hard to do things, but she does. She's a good person. But that cord, of course, she bumped it just the right way so it wouldn't work. It took me a while to reorganize, resituate it so it's sitting perfectly flat so it could let electricity in here. You know, what was I talking about? Oh, well, he's given me a lot of wood in the past. And he is leaving now, and he has a lot of stuff, wood and stuff. He's got, you know, tucked away in different spots, and he's taking, of course, he's taking the good stuff from himself, which I understand that. You know, with me, I take all the good wood with me. I take all the wood with me, but he doesn't want to take the time to carry old bad wood he doesn't like. You know, and he moved like almost 30 miles from here, about 20 miles from here. That I've watched. And it takes him about an hour round trip to drop off a load and come back. Which you think about 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. That's 40. Gives him 20 minutes to unload it. It's about right, you know. But anyway, you've been very nice to me. I gave him a couple of my cutouts, silhouettes I make. And thanked him, you know, for all the things he's done for me. Um, They had a big old stack of wood sitting there, so you can have this. And so, okay. And I got the girlfriend, her name's Shannon. I got her to get up and help me carry wood across the road. And there was some college kids that moved in next to him across the street. And one of them was out doing that. And he looked over and he goes, "You need help?" And I go, "Well, it'd be nice. It'd help." And he grabbed one of his friends from the house, and the two of them, they moved like 70% of it. They did it quickly too, because being in their 20s, you know, that was nothing to them. They didn't even breathing hard. It took them 3 trips and we had it all. And I thanked him. I'll make him something eventually, or maybe she's talking about making fudge. Maybe send over a little plate of fudge as a thank you. They're nice kids. I get along with them. I try to get along with all my neighbors, and I don't do a big amount of trying. I mean, just basically friendly. Tell her Shannon all the time that all I'm really looking for is a wave. Just a wave and a smile as they drive by or come home, and they don't have big, deep, long conversations. They don't want to or nothing. You know, I'm not looking for that. Just to know that they're all right with me and I'm fine. The one next to me, we had problems when she first moved in. She didn't like my cats, and she reported them to the city. Well, she can't do much because cats aren't illegal, but they did come out and talk to me about them. Like you gotta make sure they're not going in her yard and pooping and stuff. Well, they're cats, and they're not the only cats in the neighborhood. There's a lot of cats in Sweet Home. So anyway, we kind of smoothed that out, and she apologized for calling the city on me. She said I should have talked to you first. She should have, and I think she felt bad about it. And since then, we've become better neighbors. We don't seem to have any problems. Um, Today, she asked me, she's not home, but she got cameras everywhere, of course, like most people. And she asked me if she got a package. It must be important because she usually doesn't ask me this, but she said if it shows up delivered, would you please take it in and watch it till I come home? And I said sure, no problem. So, but the only problem is that every couple of hours I gotta get up and look at the porch. She got a package? No package. I go sit down again. And this is the one time of year most, New Year's Eve. I looked it up. UPS is open, but the post office is closed. But I know the post office does do packages for Amazon. So I don't know if that's included in that, or if they'll still do stuff for Amazon. So it's really screwed up things in this little town. I mean, our postal service used to be really good postal service. And you got to know your postal carrier. He'd wave at you, like the old small town vibe to it, where the carrier by name and he knows you and you're friendly and you know. But when they introduce it Amazon, oh, they don't have enough people, don't have manpower, and all these packages is slowing them down. And when I used to get my mail anywhere from 9 in the morning till about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, now I get it sometimes as late as 8 or 9 o'clock at night because they got so much to do. So, I haven't seen them today. I hope they got the day off, next couple of days off. They deserve a break. But it is frustrating when you're waiting for a package and you can trace it on your computer where it's at, and they say, "Oh, it's in the post office in Sweet Home," and it sits in the post office in Sweet Home for 2 or 3 days before it finally comes to your door. Where in the past, if it was a post office before they went out on their run on their routes, it'd be in your doorstep. Not anymore. So, just the way things are, I guess. Could be trickle down from the politics that are going on. You know, like I said in the past, I'm not a big Trump fan. He has quite really, he says he isn't this way, but he does not care about people. He cares about himself, and you can see it in his way things are reacted. If something isn't quite the way he likes it, it's gone. Or if he wants it, he'll do it even though it's against the law to do it. Like the Kennedy Center. It's a government site. It's protected by Congress. You cannot do anything to a government site unless you talk to Congress and get an agreement with them. But he went ahead and put his name on the building without talking to the Congress, which is against the law. He don't care, and you can't dance around that. That's what happened, you know. And he acts like he's better than everybody else. I don't know. I never liked the man from the first time I listened to him. He's very egomaniac. He really believes he's the best thing in the whole world. You know, And it's not what a president should be like. Yes, a president should have confidence. Yes. But he should also be humble enough to admit that he doesn't know everything. And there's some things he has to ask somebody about to get into find out about it and, make the right decision. They say a great leader relies on the people around him. Then he makes his decision from the opinions he gets from everybody else. Doesn't just go on what he thinks. Because he might got a bias somewhere. He has to realize, oh, that's not the way it is. I got to do it this way. He doesn't do that. And that's what the problem is. You know, and he's got bad people around him because he wanted people to do whatever he said they had to do. You want to have people who will tell you when you're wrong, who are not afraid to tell you when you need to do something different. So you know that. The first time he was president, he kind of had enough of those people to kind of keep him on the straight and narrow. This time around, he made sure he didn't have any of those people, and it hasn't been working out good. And it's crashing. And unless he picks it up and turns it around, it's going to completely crash on him. There's just no way around it. I personally, I was raised. You never hate a person, but you can dislike them a lot. Dislike him a lot. I don't wish any ill towards anybody, but I wouldn't mind if he'd go off some place and play golf and leave everybody alone. He'd be happy and we'd be happy, and just having an election and get a different president. Don't want his vice president because he's just a yes man, and he would be doing whatever people in the little ground were telling him to do. He would just be a figurehead, and we don't need that either. We need a president who stands on 2 feet and get a good group of people around him and make good decisions. So we'll see. I know I'm not get too political. I know I want this to be where people are comfortable to talk to me and stuff, and I'm not going to say too much more about it on that. Just can't avoid it. Some things are just the way they are. I mean, food's supposed to be going down. I went to the grocery store last night and I ended up spending over $50 more than I planned on spending because it was more than I expected it to be. But I needed those things, so I had to dig into my reserves a little bit and cover it where it normally would have been covered. So, just an example. I mean, the price of gasoline has gone down a lot for Oregon, especially because in Oregon, we're kind of down the middle of the road. We're not the cheapest. We're not the most expensive gas in the country. You got to go somewhere like Arizona or Nevada or somewhere to get real cheap gas. Like we want to hear. But you want expensive gas, you go to California or one of the big cities like New York. But in the last 15 years, I haven't seen it below $3, and it's below $3. It's at about $2.65, I think, right now. And I looked it up, and it's really not anything that the policies of the politics that are in office right now are doing that's doing it. It's actually kind of a side effect for the things they're doing. They say it's because people aren't spending money in their cars to go places. So they're not putting much gas in their cars. And that, since you're not selling much gas, the price goes down. See? So they can't ask as much because they can't get anybody to buy their gas unless they drop it. That's basically what's happening. Now, some people will say, oh, that's because we were able to make it great for everybody. Well, I don't think so. But it does snowball. If you lower the price of gasoline or diesel, then the cost of delivering things goes down. And the products going to stores should go down also. But you got to remember, people are greedy and they may not raise the price anymore, but they're not going to probably drop it. They'll just gobble up the extra amount and keep it for themselves. That's what I feel will happen. It'd be nice to pass it on, especially when it comes to food, but I don't think so. It's just not human nature. At least big business guys in charge of things, they just want more money. I was a caregiver for 6 years, and the funny thing about it was, a lot of the clients I took care of were rich, and rich people are some of the stingiest people you'll ever meet. Even though they got lots of money, they can afford lots of things, they don't want to spend one dime on anything that's not for them. That's the way rich people are. That's how they become rich, by being miserly. Keep hold all the money they can. And that's what, when you got a lot of rich people in charge of the government, that's the way they are. They'll find ways to get money for themselves, but they don't give a damn about the people who are struggling. You know, and that's the same thing with this grocery stuff. They say, "Oh, I can make another 50 cents a loaf of bread." I'm not gonna drop it. I'm gonna take that 50 cents. Where poor people are more giving because that they've had people give for them, they're returning it. Where rich people don't know that sort of thing. So, anyway, I'm off on a lark. I'm sorry. Been a good day today. Getting that wood was nice, and that'll help me a lot in the future. If he gives me all the lumber he doesn't like, I'll probably not double the wood I have available, but probably at least like get 25% more. You know, I will be set up for probably a couple of years, over a year of work. I mean, I'm a slow worker, so just finished on a couple of light things real quick. This is the cutouts I've been working on. See, you can see now that it looks like a Labrador. The 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 ears that they have, the part of the small part, the little floppy ears that they have. Give me a hand, go right at that. And the way they call it a knowledge bump right here, then the nice nose, and then pretty much pretty normal dog beyond that. But on the back, see, I've cut out I notched out a hole, and I will get this in place, this in there, and I'll glue it down, and that gives me the place where my nail goes in, and it, you know, I think I got a nail here on my desk. I have one on here just for the purpose of making sure that I have a good fit. It's not quite the nail I use, but I can show you. You take a nail and you put it in here, and up it goes. See, and then it's locked in. And it makes a nice solid object on the wall. So those are coming down. I should have had more of them done. It's been kind of a slow day for me in the shop. I don't know why. And I made this up. And it's not much. It doesn't look like much. It's a little thin little box. See? But where did I put my wallet? So it's a credit card holder. Let me find it. She jostled the power cord. She killed my heating blanket. I had to turn it back on again. But I'll show you this, and I'll quit after this. Let's get to a 25-minute talk. See, I can take a credit card, and it drops right in. When I need a credit card, it comes right back. I'm not quite done with the project, but this is as far as I've got so far. The reason why I'm not quite done is I got to order a part and wait for it, but I can still use these while I'm waiting for the part. In fact, I might even make the next version just leave the accommodation. The only thing I'm using missing is what they call a lanyard, which will allow me to attach it to like your belt or something, so that go in there, put in your pocket, and that way that if it falls in your pocket, the lanyard holds it, won't let it go anywhere. But I do need. Lights are flickering again. Sorry, it's this darn power cord. I gotta get a different one. I put a piece of wood across here. There'll be like to close it up, and then it'll slide open to get the credit card out. That way that it won't have the ability to fall out of my pocket. and then it'll be secure. I mean, yeah, it's not electronic proof. Somebody with one of the gadgets could still steal information off the card, and something like that. I mean, I maybe could fix that. I mean, I put maybe tinfoil in there or something to help bounce it off. I don't know, but this is just to secure my credit cards. I lost my wallet a couple last week, and and I want to make it to where I'm not carrying my whole wallet with me all the time. Because if I hadn't found my wallet and somebody else would find it, they would have got my debit card. They would have got my driver's license. They would have got my medical card, which is also where I get food. They gave me food on my medical card. I lost that. Lost my food stamp card. Um, I had my key to the house in there. My phone. My address is in there. I mean, they have a key to the front door. They you know, go open the front door and steal the house. I would have changed the lock, of course. I know how to change the locks. It's not that hard to do. But it really panicked me. And luckily, the the, my wallet had fallen behind the bed at the hotel where we were at, and my girlfriend went upstairs and talked to the maid, and she let her back in there, and they found it. I lucked out. Now I'm going to make it to where this will be in my pocket. My wallet will be locked up in the glove box, and the things I need out of my wallet in the store will be in here. So if I lose this, the only thing they're going to give is a couple cards that I can cancel and restart again. I'm not going to get the other stuff. So that's why this is this. Anyway, I think I'll quit at this point with lights flickering and bugging me. And I'm going to be going in a few minutes anyway. I go in at around 7 at 6. So I want to wish everybody a happy New Year's. I hope this year will be a better year. Things will be a lot more even keeled for everybody and we won't have as many problems to deal with. And thank you for listening to me and have a good night. Thank you. Night.